We go now to Randall Pinkston at Newark Airport, which understandably and predictably, Randall, there are jitters around the airports today as they come back to life.
Dan, jitters is the right word. Very, very high security here. About 2 hours or so ago, we observed a plane parked near our location here in the roof of one of the buildings here at Newark International Airport, surrounded by Port Authority police vehicles, we presume possibly some federal agencies, and we have learned that that plane is a commercial plane owned by a company from Saudi Arabia. Port Authority officials tell us that the plane was detained on request of the State Department, and they have also detained the flight crew and security crew. We have seen 4 people in handcuffs brought into this building under the escort of Port Authority officials, and since the plane was held at the request of the U.S. government, we also presume that federal officials will be asking questions of these people. Why would they hold a Saudi plane? Of course, Saudi Arabia is one of America's foremost allies in the Middle East. One possible reason is because it has been reported that 2 of the hijackers had ties to Saudi Arabia. It is a question that we will hopefully find the answer to as to whether this plane, this crew, had any connection at all to the individuals, 2 of the individuals at least, who were responsible for the terror across the river in Lower Manhattan at the World Trade Center Towers explosions. The other story here today, of course, is commercial aircraft movement. We can tell you that as of now, there have been no departures from Newark. All of the planes that have been landing, for the most part, have been repositionings, empty flights brought in by Continental, the largest of the airlines operating here at Newark, so that they can be ready for departures when the go-ahead is received from the airlines and the FAA. And finally, this footnote. As many people in America may not know, New York's 3 airports are operated by a semi-autonomous agency called the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. One of the many facilities that they had under their administration was the World Trade Center, and of course the World Trade Center Towers. 2,000 Port Authority employees worked in the World Trade Center Towers, and when those buildings went down, the Port Authority workers lost many of their friends and colleagues. And notwithstanding that, they, like so many other of the rescue workers, the emergency workers, the officials here in New York City, have gotten too busy to do the job to get these airports reopened, even in the midst of this tragic moment, personal moment of tragedy and sadness for them. The word, as you have said throughout the day, Dan, if you have a ticket anywhere, don't assume because it says the airports are open that you're going to be going anywhere today. Do call the airport before you leave. It will be several days before flights resume anything like normal. Here at Newark, we're not expecting any departure before 3 p.m. That's Eastern time. In a few minutes, we may see the first departure, but it will be minimal activity, departures and arrivals for the remainder of the day and possibly for several more days. Dan?
Randall Pinkston at Newark Airport, just across the Hudson River in New Jersey.